Coming up on First at 4, the latest on a shooting in Martin County that resulted in the gunman's death. And a local marina shares concerns about inflation and how they are handling it.
Watching for the potential for strong to severe storms as we head into tonight and tomorrow. The very latest details coming up now as First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Strong to severe storms have been popping up in parts of the region this afternoon, and we could see more of this through the end of the week. Meteorologist Evan Hatter joins us now with the very latest. Evan?
And that's right, Steve. We have already seen some strong to severe thunderstorms around the region this afternoon. The good news, we have no severe weather right now, but we are still watching showers and thunderstorms, some of which look rather foreboding around the region. There's a live look from our camera at Buffalo Mountain in Perry County. Plenty of dark sky there. Nothing severe, however. It does look rather scary and ominous out there. It's just some heavy rain and some gusty winds to 40 miles per hour pushing on in at this point. Look at our camera and our high knob camera, UVA-wise. Upper 60s right now, and they've got plenty of rain and storms pushing in right now. In fact, that's where some of the heaviest rain sits at the moment. We had some toward Pikeville a little while ago, and we'll continue to see some as we head towards eastern portions of Highland County, southern parts of Letcher County, and really through Wise County right now. Another very heavy thunderstorm right on top of Manchester. That's a lot of water coming down into portions of Clay County right now. So if you're traveling on Highway 80, the Hal Rogers Parkway, between London and Manchester, between Manchester and Hazard, we got plenty of rain. Even more storms out to the north and west. It's rather calm right now in Stanton, just some light rain, but more will be pushing in. A marginal risk, level 1 threat of severe weather continues as we head through tonight. I'll have the very latest on when we can see more severe weather coming up in just a little bit. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. Late last night, the Martin County Sheriff's Office received a call of shots fired in the Davella community. Kentucky State Police soon responded to a home on Sand Lake Road and were fired on upon arrival. That's according to officials. Now, after calling for backup, multiple agencies in the region came to help. And according to Martin County Sheriff John Kirk, the gunman was eventually shot and later died at the scene.
We have multiple agencies respond. The Pikeville, City Cops, Prestonburg, Paintsville, Johnson County Sheriff's Office, Fish and Wildlife, Kentucky State Police, several constables here in my county, and then me and my deputies.
Sheriff Kirk says this scene could have ended much worse for officers who responded, as well as neighbors and drivers on nearby Route 3. No law enforcement officers were injured in the shooting. We'll have more details from the deadly officer-involved shooting coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. President Biden ordered flags to be lowered to half-staff today, one day after the deadly mass shooting at a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois. The shooting has now killed 7 people and injured more than 30. During a news conference this afternoon, Sergeant Chris Cavelli with the Lake County Major Crimes Task Force said it's believed the shooter used a high-powered rifle similar to an AR-15 to fire more than 70 rounds into the crowd. President Biden ordered flags to remain at half-staff through July 9th. Governor Andy Beshear has directed that flags at all state office buildings be lowered to half-staff until sunset on Saturday to honor yesterday's victims of the Highland Park, Illinois shooting. This is in addition to flags statewide already directed to half-staff honoring the Floyd County officers who died in the line of duty last week. An investigation is underway after the police killing of an unarmed black man in Akron, Ohio. The mayor has now declared a state of emergency. Protesters believe police body cam video released by the authorities fails to explain why 8 officers opened fire, hitting Jalen Walker more than 60 times. The protesters are also demanding a Justice Department investigation of the police department's culture and policies. CBS's Elise Preston is outside the Akron police station.
Black Lives Matter! Tension, outrage, and sorrow filled the streets in Akron, where hundreds of protesters demonstrated for a 4th consecutive day, demanding justice in the police shooting death of 25-year-old Jalen Walker.
Today, we're going to the power structure.
Activist Raymond Gray Jr. led the march toward the mayor's house with a list of demands.
That could have been my son or one of my daughters. Jalen Walker is us. Jalen Walker is me.
The mayor declared a state of emergency, and businesses boarded up windows in anticipation of violent unrest.
That vehicle just had a shot come out of its door.
Authorities say Walker fired around and fled his car after officers tried to pull him over for an unspecified traffic violation last week. After Walker jumped from the vehicle, the police chief says Walker appeared to reach down to his waist and turn toward officers who were chasing him before they unloaded a barrage of bullets.
Clearly, they thought that this was an individual who had access to a weapon.
Keith Taylor, a New York Police Department veteran, says it appears officers follow their training, but new protocols might be necessary.
To the extent to which policies can be developed that will lessen the number of officers that are simultaneously utilizing lethal force, I think that would be better for all involved.
Walker sustained more than 60 wounds and was unarmed when he was killed. Police say a gun was later recovered from his car.
Are you angry? Are you hurt? How are you feeling?
I'm angry, I'm pissed off, I'm disgusted. I want a new mayor. I want new leadership in this city.
It's unclear when or if additional body camera footage will be released. Meanwhile, that downtown overnight curfew will remain in effect until further notice. Elise Preston, CBS News, Akron, Ohio.
Back here in Kentucky, firefighters in Richmond are investigating a fire at the Golden Corral restaurant. They were called to the scene on Amberley Way just before midnight. Units say they saw smoke and flames coming from the roof, but they put the fire out pretty quickly. The owner of the restaurant was on scene. They said a cleaning company was doing work inside the building and saw the fire. No one was hurt. The restaurant is closed until the health department approves its reopening. There were no major meltdowns at U.S. airports during the July 4th holiday. The Transportation Security Administration said it screened more than 11.2 million people over the holiday weekend. That's the 30th day in a row in which more than 2 million people passed through airport security checkpoints. Air travel peaked on Friday when the TSA screened nearly 2.5 million people. That's the highest figure since February 11th, 2020. Millions of Americans hit the roads or the airports for the July 4th weekend, but thousands of flight delays and cancellations did put a damper on some celebrations. Since Thursday, U.S. airports have had about 2,200 cancellations and 24,000 delays, but that's an improvement from the Memorial Day and Juneteenth holiday weekends this summer. The airport mayhem may be why 42 million Americans opted to hit the road instead, despite near record high gas prices.
You hear a lot of people getting stuck on the tarmac, so you don't want to be one of those people sitting there for 4 hours. So driving, you're in a little more control.
All the delays and cancellations are wearing on travelers. A new survey found about 75% of people who took or planned a flight this summer now regret their choice to fly, and nearly 20% say they may consider skipping airports entirely during the Thanksgiving and Christmas seasons. Travelers this summer should probably be prepared to carry their own luggage and go easy on housekeeping. That's because a large majority, 97% in fact, of U.S. hotels say they are understaffed, and about half of 500 hotels polled last month said they are severely understaffed. The group says it's trying to fill 130,000 vacant positions nationwide. They say they are hoping to entice future employees with higher wages, more benefits, and flexible hours. Many chose to spend the holiday weekend on the lake, but that's where costs have increased in recent months and people are starting to really feel it. WIMT's Phil Pendleton has more on how a marina owner and customers are dealing with inflation, high gas prices, and the future on Lake Cumberland.
A lot of people came to the lake to celebrate the 4th. The owner of Lee's Ford Marina said overall it was a good weekend, but he says that with a bit of caution.
I do think that, like just the overall People are starting to get worried about the economy. They see inflation, not getting, under control.
A trip to the lake is much more expensive this summer. Buying gas on the dock will cost you more than $6 a gallon. Inflation has caused other things to cost more. Maintaining the marina is tougher. When something breaks on the dock, replacement parts are harder to find.
We had engines that we couldn't get you couldn't order for a year. I mean, they were a year out.
Boaters are pretty much telling me the same thing. One man said that he saw a lot of people here over the 4th, but not quite as many as previous years. Another boater said they're down here now. They would have been down here a lot more this summer had it not been for the high gas prices and high inflation. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Regardless of what the economy does, Hamilton says he believes there will always be a market for people coming to the lake, and in some ways it is cheaper here than going to other places. Coming up on First at 4, a $2.5 billion lawsuit in one West Virginia county has ruled in favor of 3 major U.S. drug distributors.
And continuing to watch strong to severe thunderstorms, a very strong storm over Clay County right now. I'll have the latest on how long this looks to continue coming up in this break.